For 9.2, we are going to be working on solving for a variable. When we have a one-step equation, we are trying to find the solution to make the equation true and keep it balanced on both sides. So to do that, we use the opposite operation, the inverse. So if we're adding, if we see an addition problem, we need to get rid of that. And the opposite of that is to use subtraction. So the opposite of add is subtract. So that means if we have a subtraction problem, the opposite of that is going to be addition. So we're just using the opposites to get that variable all alone. So like I just said, the whole point of this is we're trying to solve for the variable. We want to get the variable all alone. So if we have 16 plus g, and that equals 67, then we need to do the opposite of that. We are trying to get g alone. We'll undo it, and we'll take a look at what that looks like here. So because it is an equation, it's balanced on both sides. This is the same as this. We have to keep it balanced and do the same thing to both sides. So that's a big math rule. We do the same thing to both sides. So what we want to do is do that opposite. So we're doing the opposite of the problem we have, and we're going to do that to both sides of our equation. So we're doing the opposite to both sides. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So here we have 4 plus g, and that equals 19. So 4 plus g is 19. We want to know, what is this g here? So we have 4, so we want to take away 4. But if I do it to this side, I have to do it to this side. So if I have 4 and I take away 4, I'm at 0 now. These are canceled out, they're gone. But I have to show that I did that. I can't just do it to this side. That leaves my equation unbalanced and tilted. So all I'm left with is g on this side. And over here, 19 minus 4 is 15. G equals 15. If I plug it back into the equation, 4 plus 15, that balances and equals 19 and keeps it the same on both sides. So you have to do the same thing to both sides. So let's take a look at some problems that you might see in your work here. And it's telling you have to show the balance. They will not be correct if we can't see the balance. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw a balance bar straight through that equal sign, right? We're trying to keep it equal on both sides of that equal sign. So we're trying to get h by itself. So we need to get rid of the 9.5. So to get rid of that, we have 9.5. We want to do the opposite, is take them away. So we're going to minus 9.5 on this side, but if I do it to this side, I have to do it to this side. So we need to get those decimals lined up. 9.5. So on this side, they cancel out. 9.5 minus 9.5 is 0. So all we're left with over here is h. Now, when we do this math, we line up our decimals. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try that on your own. Okay, so let's check your work here. So we have, can't not do 4 minus 5, so we come borrow. Now we have 14 minus 5 is 9. That decimal comes straight down. 6 minus 9 cannot do, so we are borrowing again. 16 minus 9 is 7. When I'm plugging these in, we have about 10 and 8. So my answer should be about 18, 17.4. My answer makes sense here. So this next one, we're going to try, and we're going to draw our balance bar through the equal sign. Now remember, we're trying to get the variable by itself. The variable is j. It's on the opposite side of the equal sign, but we're still going to do the same thing. We want j alone. So we have 84. We want to get rid of that 84. We want to take it away. So we have it. It was added. We want to do the opposite, which is subtract it. 84 minus 84 makes 0. Right? That's gone. But if I do it to this side, I have to do it to this side. So we're going to line up our place values and go ahead and try out that problem and then come back and let's check your work. So here we have 6 minus 4 is 2. 7 minus 8 we can't do, so we come borrow and regroup. 17 minus 8 is 9 and 2. 292 equals J. If I have 292, I get 84 more. That should give me a bigger answer. 374 makes sense for that answer. So it doesn't matter which side it is on. We're always trying to get the variable by itself. We have to undo the side that has the variable. So let's take a look at some subtraction problems. So same setup, draw that balance bar through our equation. So we have negative 52. We've already taken away 52. We're trying to cancel it out. We're trying to get back to 0. So the opposite of minusing 52 is to add 52. So if we were over here on our number line and we're at negative 52, if I add on 52, that cancels it out and gets me back to 0. But if I do it to this side, I have to do it to this side. So plus 52. So over here, all we have left is B. Let's go ahead and pause and try out this problem. So we come back and we have 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 9 is 14. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So if I plug that in, if I have 548, it's about 550, and I take away 50 of them, I should be about 500. My answer makes sense. So if we're coming up with something that says like 300 minus 52, but then we're getting a bigger answer than 300, right? That doesn't make sense. We have to check that our answers make sense here. So our last one we are going to try is this problem here. We're going to set up our balance bar. So we have C minus 28 and 6/10. So C is on the right side. It doesn't matter which side it's on. The goal is to get the variable on its own. So we have negative 28.6. We need to cancel that out and add on 28.6. So adding on 28.6. But if I do it to this side, I also have to do it to this side. Now we need to make sure we get these decimals lined up. So I'm going to write it right here, but I'm going to come down here in this blank space to actually do the problem. So we have 85, and this is 80, this is 5. I don't want to put this 6 under the 5. This is 6/10. It's like 60 cents. This is $5. They're not the same. We need that $28 needs to line up under here. And we're going to add that decimal. So if we need to match that up, just add a decimal and a 0. It's still 85. So we are adding these together. So we just need to make sure when we have those decimals, we line up those decimals when we're adding and subtracting. Let's go ahead and try out this problem here and then come back and check your work. So we have 0 and 6. Decimal comes straight down. 8 and 5 makes 13. There's 10 plus one more is 11. So if I have 113, I take away about 30. My answer makes sense here. So this is 113 and 6/10 equals C. So every time I'm expecting to see this balance, the opposite to both sides to get that variable all alone.